Hello, welcome back. We are doing Hildibrand endwalker. I believe. Yes. Wait, I know you. We met in Kugane. That stone cold killer I asked to look after the love of my life. What's that look for? Surely you haven't forgotten me. You and me, we had a moment. A connection. Not like the one I've got with her, of course, but I know I left an impression. Frankly, considering how many blows I've taken I'm lucky I haven't forgotten my own name. Head trauma notwithstanding, I'm still offended. At the very least, surely you remember my love for my sultry muse, my innocent and pure, not all creepy adoration for the totality of her existence. This is the kind of thing that would stick to your memory. But enough about me. This is about Miss Nashu. Ever since she got sucked into that weird portal back east, I've been scouring the world for any sign of her. I was this close to giving up, but then, huzzah, I found her in Ratsat Hammond. Normally, I'd be happy to get back to playing in the silent, invisible guardian, but she seems pretty distressed by the plight of her inspector friend. He's here too, but laid up and showing no signs of walking anytime soon. My Nashu has been fashioning all sorts of medicines in hopes of rousing them, but to no avail. I mean, I couldn't care less if you kick the bucket, but I hate seeing her like this. She's liable to work herself to death. So what say you? Will you deliver my dearest Nashu from her plight? You'll find her over at High Crucible, no doubt saving over and Lumberk. And with that, I'll get back to cheering on from the shadows. You too, I guess. Now go, quickly, save my beloved. Nashu. And that should do it. Now take this medicine and... Core, yo, it feels like it's been forever, though definitely less than a year, I'm sure. What brings you to Rad's at hand? I'm enjoying a spot of adventuring, or perhaps... Then you've heard, it's true, Inspector Hildebrand's gone into hibernation again and... wait, you're giving me that look. That one that screams, what about that whole weird portal business? Alright, since you silently asked. So, back on the Ruby Sea, remember how Greg got doused with Dar Prism and was forced to whisk us all far away? Now, that strange rift opened up, which the inspector then got sucked up into, and how I followed him into that. Well, after that, we ended up in this bizarre place, couldn't tell up from down, left from right, so we wandered, lost and confused. Fortunately, Greg came to his senses and explained that we were in the interspectral rift, and then used the same trick to bring us home. Greg himself stayed behind though, something about a score that he had to settle. Not sure what that was about, but hey, you know Greg. Anyway, we're back now, but the rub is that Inspector Hildibrand hasn't opened his eyes once. I know he needs his beauty sleep, but it's been an awfully long time, and we've got cases to solve. I've been trying my hand at crafty stuff, seeing if I can't make something that'll get him up and moving, but nothing seems to work. But I think we're making progress. Me and Mr. Chukumbra from the Shaskola concern, that is. You remember Mistress Cucumber, right? Got sucked into the rift along with us, former evil mastermind. Not so bad once you get to know him. Pleased I am to meet you once more, and under less compromising circumstances. If I am correct, our mutual friend, I am Jubuka, chairman of the Satya concern. Your distrustful and somewhat bloodthirsty glare is not unwarranted, but in my defense, who among us has not contemplated enslaving the rich and powerful to bend the world to their whim? Haha. I pray you forgive me my poor joke and allow me to assure you that after wandering the interdimensional rift for the sisters only to know how long I am a changed man. Naturally, I understand that words alone would not suffice to absolve me of my sins. Thus, since my return, I have operated a humble apothecary that caters to the needs of one and all. Furthermore, I made arrangements for Miss Nashu's workshop. Rest assured that I will spare no effort in helping uh, her see Inspector Hildebrand awaken and return to full health. And with that, if you would excuse me, I must see to other business. Isn't he the nicest ex-villain you've ever met? Ah, but that's right. I had just finished my latest medicine. I've got high hopes for this new recipe. I suppose I ought to look at the Manderville man myself. By all means, the inspector is resting in the room up in coma, awake or asleep. I'm sure he'd enjoy your company. Let's go. Actually, quicker to go this way. Love the music. Music. Isn't this room nice? Mr. Chapruka's taking care of everything, even paid the rent in full. Ah, but I'm distracting you, aren't I? You need to concentrate while you examine the inspector, yes? I gotta study the inspector. Beside the bed, Hildibrand's loyal assistant Nashu dozes peacefully over her ability to stay calm in the most trying of times. Has been sorely tested of late. Bringa, the master of the house, searches the shelves with remarkable dexterity for one so large of body and limb. Man's exquisite buckles of stylish footwear are design unique to House Mandeville. These shoes would almost certainly fetch a small fortune in the markets. Rugged features belie what is at closer glance the sensitive mien of a cultured gentleman. While he still breathes, he appears to be locked in a deep slumber. Rippling muscles bespeak impressive strength, while smooth skin suggests that only the rarest of occasions does the man resort to violence. Tremblingly, his limbs are stiff and cool to the touch, as if the blood runs cold in his veins. The inspector's condition is disturbingly reminiscent of the Scions who were summoned to the first for a time. Oh, finished already. Any theories as to what's wrong with the inspector? I suspect he may have been summoned to another reflection. I see. I mean, I don't, but that's what he's supposed to say at times like this. I know that much. How do we wake him up? Return his soul to his body, but where did it go, and what does it doing there? Probably went to the first to become the gentleman of darkness, as you do. I see. Right, so you can go there? Great, in that case I'll leave the soul searching to you. I'm sure it goes without saying, but once you've arrived in this otherworldly world, look for a place that smells of mystery and intrigue, and chat with people there. That's standard agent of inquiry protocol. Oh, and since this is Inspector Hildibrand we are talking about, don't be surprised if you find him asleep or having forgotten a thing or two. But not to worry, I've prepared my traditional medicine just in case. Don't hesitate to use it. And with that, do take care out there. When in doubt, use Nashu's delight to blow cobwebs right out the inspector's low at. Thank you. The inspector will thank you, I'm sure. Welcome back, friend. I'd offer a pint, but my barman sense tells me that's not why you're here. So this friend of yours has gone missing. Sorry to hear that, but plenty of travelers pass through these parts. Could you describe these fellows to me? He was wearing a tattered suit, most like. Yes, that sounds familiar. Mind you, I didn't see him myself, but I do believe one of our bounty hunters spied such a man when you were all blathering and that horde of spectral warriors. Yeah, come here a moment. There's someone who wants to speak with you. That's so? Make it quick, then ale isn't going to drink itself. Or, wait, you're one of Exarch's friends, the Warrior of Darkness. Fought by your side when the glowing bastard came to ruin our day. But we showed them, ha. But enough reminiscing. What's so important that you had to interrupt my regularly scheduled drinking? Now that you mention it, I did see someone like that back there on the battlefield after you ran off to do some hero work. At first I thought he was going to attack me like the rest of the spirit whatsits, but no, he just stood there, striking a pose, trying to scare or seduce me. Damned if I could tell. Still, he was glowing and I wasn't about to take any chances, so I said, "Hey, this off, Ghost," and sent him packing. Did he die, you ask? To which I say, what, am I a Jurgen? Also, I've kept my mug waiting long enough. Good talk. Could it be the Warrior of Darkness? I thought that was your voice, but was convinced my ears were playing tricks on me. It's good to see you again. Didn't mean to eavesdrop, but we overheard you discussing the renegade poster. We've been searching for him for some time now. Oh, these guys, okay. There have been sightings in Lakeland, you see. Barnard and I have been tasked with getting to the bottom of it. We've little in the way of useful information, though. All we know is that he appears without warning and strikes a disturbing pose. He's not caused any harm if you discount the shock of strange men gesticulating in your general direction, that is. Nevertheless, we're worried his behavior might escalate. Have you been tasked with apprehending the miscreant as well? Not quite, Barnard. Yale's come back to track down a missing friend. The miscreant, I fear, may be my friend. If the man you're looking for might be one and the same, then why not work together? Between the three of you, you're bound to have better luck. It would be an honor and a great help. We were just about to leave to gather testimony as it happens. Come and join us in Solon when you've finished here. We'll solve this mystery in no time. You always kept interesting company, that's for sure. I don't know if it's for better or for worse if this poser is your friend, but I wish you the best of luck. Oh, that fellow? I saw him the other day on the way home from Charlemagne. I'd enjoyed one too many liberations after my bath and ended up wandering off into the forest. Before I knew it, the sun was dipping low and the sky turning dark, and I was beginning to wonder if I'd ever make it home. Then I felt a gentle tug at my arm. And would you believe it, the odd-looking man led me out of the forest and sent me back on the road. I thanked him profusely, but he said nothing in reply, just struck a pose and walked off. If you see the fellow, tell him to come and visit. I owe him a drink or two for his kindness. There you are. Did I see him? You bet I did. I was crossing through the forest of the Lost Shepherd on my way to deliver fish to Ostal Imperative. Out of nowhere, this odd man leapt in front of me. I thought he was a bandit at first, but then he abruptly turned to the side, hurt his neck, and put his fist to his head as if to say, I don't know. It was baffling. I ran when I realized he wasn't going to do anything else. I do hope you find that strange man. He may be just a nuisance for now, but we shouldn't have to suffer posing vagabonds. Why, yes, I saw someone like that when I was out picking mushrooms in the forest. He even spoke to me. I was repulsed by his form, but he only wanted to warn me to that fell beast lurking at that in the forest, and that I should be wary. Contrary to appearances, I'd say he was actually quite gentlemanly. He may look scary, but he's quite the gentleman. Why else would he have warned me about the monsters? To be honest, I'm not sure what to make of all this. Finished questioning the locals, have you? Were you able to learn anything? Not only has the poser caused no harm, he's even helped people. So he's a gentleman, albeit a suspicious one, something of a contradiction, you might say. But there's no reason to doubt what we heard. Everyone seemed to encounter him in the forest of the Lost Shepherd, right? Then that's where we'll look next, shall we? On the other hand, some folk might argue a suspicious gentleman is more dangerous than a man blatant in villainy. In this villainy, the gentlemanliness could well be a ruse to mask all kinds of evil intentions. Well, here we are, but how exactly are we supposed to begin our search? These words are, well, woods. Got a plan, do you? Far be it from me to doubt the warrior of darkness. Show us what you've got in mind and we'll get you back up to the best of our ability. Uh, wow. So I taught it to them. Hark, what familiar gentlemanly gyrations are these? What? Really? Light Warden, the Forgiven Gentleman? He's a Light Warden? On your guard, it's a Sin Eater. No, wait, that's no Sin Eater. It's Hildibrand. Hildibrand. Who is this Hildibrand of whom you speak? I am the Forgiven Gentleman, Devourer of Sins, Light Warden Extraordinary. You might have got your familiar Moonlight as a zombie overload, but trust me, you're a gentleman inspector. Inspector, Sin Eater. Inspector, Sin Eater. You're acquainted with this, gentleman? Right then. Clearly your friend has been through a lot, but still, how did he get it in his head he's a Sin Eater? Is there no way to bring back his memories? Explosives, we're trying to save him, right? This will save him. Whoa. Purple. Volley. Nice save. This is dope as fuck. Wicked White, we've killed him. I say, yo, I had resigned myself to Nashu's ungentle mythology, but you too, my brutish friend. But never mind that, I do not recall the world being quite so purple. Previously, I was with Nashu and Greg, wandering the bizarre shadowy realm known as the Inspectoral Rift. Oh, that's right, they get echoes too. Oh. Where am I? Who am I? That sickening light, that aggressive posturing. I know what you are. You're one of them, ain't you? But you needed the good old-fashioned dwarven decking. Piss off, Ghost. Run for your lives, it's a sin eater. A sin eater. I'll be damned. I saw a vision of the man's past. No wonder he became convinced he was a sin eater. I saw it too. It was quite possibly the most ridiculous memory I've ever glimpsed. Answer me, my faithful assistant. Where are we, and why is it so purple? The first what? Are you telling me we've somehow traveled to an entirely different world? Good gods, to think that I have transcended the very boundaries of time and space. But not to worry. But worry not, my adoring fans. Hildibrand, agent of inquiry, inspector extraordinaire, will return to you forthwith. I can't help but feel this is not what the echo was intended for. Explosions, dwarven deckings, is there nothing this man can't withstand? Well, I've enjoyed what time I've spent in this far-flung first that I can remember. We should be getting back to our own world soon. Would you happen to know how we might go about doing that? Restore my soul with a spirit vessel. Say no more. Your cursory description was more than enough for me to grasp the concept completely. It's not unlike brewing the perfect cup of coffee, which means our task is clear. We require the services of a skilled soul sommelier. Splendid. I see that even in this world you rub shoulders with the cream. Let us pay this backlog a visit. I'm not sure what you're planning to do with the souls, but if you require Beckley's assistance, we can help. Aye, they've aided us time and time again, and I reckon they do the same for your friend here. Come with us to the Cabinet of Curiosity. Oh. I'll be back. Just gonna eat some pizza. Oh, okay, I'm back. Though I am eager to return home, I will miss this strange world. Perhaps we can visit it again someday. Surely there are cases here that require my permanent powers of preeminent powers of deduction. Seeing as he's a friend of the warrior of darkness herself, I should have known, but this hildibrand is no ordinary man. If you're ready, I'll call for back leg. Ah, the genius soul Saul Leonard. You come highly recommended by Yo. And what an adorable little puppy you have. Soul, what? Puppy? I beg your pardon, but there seems to be some confusion. Puppy, who is this imbecile, Yo? I've half a mind to dig him a hole so he can't throw himself in it. But I assume he is a friend of yours and one in need no less? What? Another of your friends that needs to be sent back to the source? Have you forgotten how complex and difficult it was to do the last time, yet you waltz in here and ask me this favor with the air of one shopping for a new hat? His case is no different from the others, at least. He is present only in soul, as they were. We'll need another spirit vessel, of course. You don't happen to have one on you already, do you? Entrusted to you by the Crystal Exarch, you say? If only you knew how you were using it. Fortunately, I have a proxy on hand. We've been using it to treat patients at risk of transforming into eaters, but I suppose it's due for a change of pace. There is, however, one concern, in case I didn't make it clear before. The process can place quite a strain upon one's soul. If he is lacking in resilience, there is a chance he will not survive, that his very essence will rent asunder. After what he's lived through, it'd be impossibly anticlimactic for him to die like that. Aha. Yo knows me all too well, I assure you, my good familiar, who is most certainly not a dog. You needn't worry. To Hildenberg and Hildier Maximer Vanderbilt. Yes, I get this distinct impression that the gods themselves could not kill him if they tried, and they have. Come along then, Hildy. I can't be bothered to remember that name. 1,000 thanks. Simply point me to the soulful siphon and I shall hop right in. The rest of you can wait here. I promise I won't hurt him, no matter how much I might be tempted. You will be pleased to know that the process was smooth and uneventful. Honestly, I was hoping for far more of a challenge. All you need to do is take the spirit vessel back to the source and bring it in contact with his corporeal body. He should awaken immediately with his soul and memories intact. If there's nothing else, Farnyard and I should be getting back to our duties. It was a pleasure, yo, if all too brief. I won't pretend I understood even a fraction of what happened, but I'm glad I was there for it. Till we meet again, rest assured that Tyler and I will be doing our damnness to look after the people here in your absence. I swear we only left him alone for a moment. It's not possible. You're back, and not a moment too soon. We have an emergency on our hands. The inspector's soul is in it, you say. That's great, but we have another problem now. The inspector's body has gone missing. We went to the markets to do some shopping, and when we came back, he was nowhere to be seen. I double-checked that every door was locked before we left, but there's nothing to suggest someone forced their way in. We've got a case on our hands. The case of the evaporating inspector. We must begin our investigation at once. Come on, let's start looking for witnesses. Okay. Did I see someone get carried out of that house, you ask? I was too distracted with that stock taking to take note of any comings and goings. Sorry I couldn't be of more help. As I said, matters of inventory have commanded my full attention of late. Perhaps someone else will be more help to you. Tell me everything you know. The inspector's life is in jeopardy. Yes, this is a most distressing situation indeed. I didn't see anyone carry a person out of that house, no. But I did see a man carrying a particularly large sack, so heavy he's trained to lift it. I didn't think much of it at the time, but now that you mention it, it was a bit suspicious. I suppose the sack was large enough that it could have conceivably contained a full-grown person. It looked terribly heavy. Ah, there you are. This man says he has vital information that will help us in our investigation. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Delon, editor-in-chief of the Thavernir and Truth, a monthly publication devoted to exploring unexplained and otherworldly phenomenon of our isle. Your companion shared with me the news of your friend's disappearance, and I happen to know precisely who is behind this incident. But I fear you may not like the answer, for the kidnapper is not of this star. They come from the heavens, from beyond the great expanse. They descend in curious, saucer-shaped airships and study our world, our society, our buildings, our very bodies. You shudder, no doubt, as you realize of whom I speak. It could be, you protest, but oh, but it could, and it is. You fear your dear friend the inspector has been abducted by aliens. Oh, but hells be fine, you assure yourself. After all, they just want to understand us better. You poor deluded child, that you do. But to what end? Why else? That they might one day take over the world. What is worse, they plot to do so with the aid of collaborators. Further, the Charlians are in league with our would-be overlords, providing the aliens with vital information on our vulnerabilities in exchange for a position of power within the regiment. The final days was also the work of these alien invaders, an attempt to sow chaos that our world would be easier to conquer. Blessedly, it was thwarted, if only by dumb luck, as those did the thwarting were blissfully unaware of the true nature of the threat. I had hoped the setback would discourage the aliens from coming back, but if not, move them to abandon their ambitions. But it would seem events have only embroiled them, if they are indeed carrying out abductions here in Ratsathan. Even as we speak, your friend lays prone on a sterile bed in their base on the surface of the moon, where they poke and probe him with inscrutable instruments as their floppy ears wiggle with fiendish delight. Ah, but I have said too much. I must continue my investigation in secret. The fate of our world is at stake. Oh no, that sounded awful. We have to go to the moon and save the inspector at once. I think he's a few materials short of a full meld. So you don't think the inspector is somewhere getting probed by aliens, but if not by them, then who's probing him? A man carrying a suspiciously large sack. That sounds promising. Maybe someone else can tell us more. Someone up ahead may have seen something. Let's ask around. Huh. If anyone can lead us to Inspector Hildibrand, it'll be that man with the large sack. I know it. Okay. So... I know I said I was doing Hildibrand. But I think I might call it here for Hildibrand.